Tesla wants to put autonomous cars on the road at massive scale. Waymo is already doing it. And now, the gap between these two companies is becoming much more interesting. Tesla is preparing to launch its purpose-built Cybercab in Austin, a vehicle designed without a steering wheel or pedals. At the same time, Waymo is expanding its autonomous service into more cities and opening its next-generation Robotaxi to more riders. So who is actually winning? Because this isn't really a race to build a car that can drive itself. It's a race to build a transportation business that can scale. And the company that looks ahead today may not be the company that wins tomorrow. For years, Tesla and Waymo have been pursuing the same destination from very different directions. Tesla's vision is built around scale. The company wants autonomous driving to become part of a much larger ecosystem involving vehicles, software, artificial intelligence, and eventually dedicated robot access. Waymo has taken a more controlled approach. It has focused on making autonomous driving work in defined service areas, operating real robot access, collecting operational experience, and gradually expanding. And that difference creates the central question of this entire story. But which strategy actually produces the better business? That's what we need to find out. Tesla's Robotaxi strategy starts with something most autonomous driving startups don't have. Millions of vehicles already on the road. The company's broader autonomy strategy has centered heavily on software, AI, and its full self-driving system. The long-term idea is powerful. If Tesla can make autonomous driving reliable enough, the company could potentially use its enormous manufacturing infrastructure to deploy the technology across a huge fleet. And then there's Cybercab. Unlike a conventional Tesla, Cybercab is being designed specifically around autonomous transportation. No steering wheel. No pedals. No traditional driver controls. Reuters reported that Tesla was preparing an Austin rollout beginning with employee rides before incorporating cybercabs into its Robotaxi service. That changes the economics Tesla is trying to build. A normal passenger car is designed around a human driver. A Robotaxi doesn't need to be. Its entire purpose is to move passengers from one location to another as efficiently as possible. But there's a catch. Building a vehicle capable of autonomous operation is one challenge. Operating thousands of them safely and reliably is another. And Tesla still has to prove that its strategy can move from a technology demonstration to a repeatable commercial operation. Waymo starts from a very different position. It's not simply promising a future Robotaxi network. It already operates autonomous rides. And its expansion is accelerating. Waymo's official updates show that fully autonomous service has recently become available to everyone in Houston and Dallas, while the company continues expanding service areas and preparing additional cities for autonomous operations. That experience matters. A Robotaxi network has to deal with the messy reality of cities. Construction. Pedestrians. Cyclists. Emergency vehicles. Unexpected road behavior. Different traffic patterns. And countless situations that don't appear in a controlled demonstration. Waymo has years of experience dealing with those situations. But its approach has another side. Autonomous vehicles require sophisticated hardware, software, mapping, and operational infrastructure. That can make scaling more complicated. So Waymo has a major advantage. It has operational experience. Tesla has a different advantage. It has enormous potential manufacturing scale. And now the two strategies are moving closer together. So which technology is better? That's actually the wrong question. The better question is, better for what? If the goal is commercial robotaxi operations today, Waymo has a significant head start. If the goal is eventually putting autonomous technology into a massive number of vehicles, Tesla's manufacturing scale could become extremely important. And that's the key distinction. A technically impressive autonomous system doesn't automatically create a profitable transportation company. The system also needs to be safe, reliable, affordable, scalable, and commercially useful. Tesla's strategy is attractive because software can potentially scale much faster than physical transportation infrastructure. But software doesn't eliminate the physical world. Cars still need to be built, charged, maintained, insured, and deployed where customers actually want rides. Waymo faces the opposite challenge. It has proven that autonomous rides can work in real-world environments. But expanding from individual markets to a truly massive network requires economics that work at much greater scale. So both companies have something the other desperately wants. Tesla has scale potential. Waymo has operational maturity. This may ultimately be the most important part of the entire competition. Because robotaxis aren't just a technology business. They're a transportation business. Imagine two autonomous vehicles. One costs less to build. The other is more expensive but can operate more hours per day. Which one is better? It depends on utilization. A robotaxi sitting in a parking lot isn't generating revenue. A robotaxi carrying passengers for most of the day is a revenue-generating asset. That's why the real economics come down to several variables. Vehicle cost, energy, maintenance, insurance, utilization, pricing, downtime, and revenue per vehicle. Tesla could have an advantage if it can manufacture autonomous vehicles at very large volumes. Waymo could have an advantage if its operational model produces strong utilization and reliable service. But neither company has a magic formula. Economics have to work in the real world. And that's why Nevada matters. On August 20th, Nevada regulators unanimously approved robotaxi permits for Tesla, Waymo, and Uber in Clark County, including Las Vegas. Tesla received authorization for up to 5,000 autonomous vehicles, while Waymo received approval for up to 1,000. But there's an important distinction. A permit for thousands of vehicles doesn't mean thousands of vehicles will immediately appear on the streets. Tesla's reported plan is to initially deploy a much smaller number, with around 2,500 vehicles targeted within the first year. That's an important lesson for EV Insider. Announcements tell us what a company wants to do. Actual deployment tells us what it can do. And eventually, the numbers that matter will be: how many vehicles are operating? How many rides are completed? How much downtime is there? And can the company make money doing it? So what does Tesla have that Waymo doesn't? First, manufacturing scale. Tesla is already an automaker with factories, supply chains, charging infrastructure, and millions of vehicles on the road. Second, a huge software ecosystem. Tesla is trying to connect vehicles, AI, autonomy, and software into one broader platform. And third, Cybercab. A purpose-built vehicle gives Tesla the opportunity to optimize the physical product specifically for autonomous transportation. But these are potential advantages. They aren't guarantees. Tesla still has to prove that the technology, economics, and deployment can work together. Now reverse the question. What does Waymo have that Tesla doesn't? Operational experience. Waymo has been putting autonomous vehicles into real passenger service across multiple markets. Its latest expansion shows that the company is continuing to move from limited availability toward broader public access. And Waymo is also working on its next-generation Ojai Robotaxi, designed specifically for ride-hailing and aimed at making the service more scalable. That is important. Because the Robotaxi business isn't one in a laboratory. It's one on actual streets. With actual customers. Every single day. Both companies have serious risks. For Tesla, the biggest question is execution. Can the company move from ambitious promises and limited deployments to a reliable, scalable autonomous service? For Waymo, the challenge is different. Can it expand quickly enough while maintaining safety and economics? And then there is regulation. Every new city can bring different requirements. Different roads. Different weather. Different operating environments. And different levels of public trust. That's why the Robotaxi race won't be decided by one demonstration. It will be decided by years of real-world performance. So, who is really winning? Right now, there isn't one simple answer. Waymo has the advantage in commercial autonomous operations and deployment experience. Tesla has the potential advantage in manufacturing scale and the ability to connect autonomy to a much larger vehicle ecosystem. Cybercab could eventually give Tesla a vehicle designed specifically around autonomous ride-hailing. Waymo has a significant head start here. So the real answer is, Waymo is ahead today. But Tesla is betting that the rules of the race will change when autonomous transportation reaches much larger scale. The Robotaxi race isn't simply about who can make a car drive itself. It's about who can make autonomous transportation work. Safely, reliably, and profitably at scale. Waymo has shown that autonomous ride-hailing can work in real cities. Tesla is betting that its combination of AI, software, manufacturing, and a purpose-built cybercab can take that idea much further. And that's why the next few years could be so important. Because today's leader isn't necessarily tomorrow's winner. The real question isn't Tesla or Waymo. It's, and that is the race worth watching.